Cinnamon Cordial marries the pungent flavor of one of our favorite spices with alcohol. Think of it as the liqueur equivalent of a cinnamon bun. On its own, or as an ingredient in a specialty drink, Cinnamon Cordial can add some serious spice to cocktail hour. Cinnamon Cordial is the distilled spirit that is both sweet and spicy. It's this complexity of flavor that is at the heart of its appeal. This particular Cinnamon Cordial starts with a blend of California grape brandy that's been aged for 2 years. The distiller measures the amount the recipe calls for and pours the brandy into the main production vessel. He then pumps neutral grain spirits out of a big holding tank and into the measuring bucket. This spirit is 190 proof, which means that it's 95% alcohol. He adds it to the grape brandy. Together, the brandy and the neutral spirits will serve as the alcohol base for the Cinnamon Cordial. The brandy contributes color and a little flavor, while the clear spirits add potency. Next up are the spices that provide a first layer of flavor. Using a scale, the distiller measures the amounts for the recipe, beginning with whole coriander, a spice that will impart a citrusy zest to the Cinnamon Cordial. The next ingredient is cloves. This spice has a sweet and peppery essence. Finally, he adds dry bay leaves. He crumbles them to release their herbal fragrance. These 3 spices will ultimately provide background flavor, while the cinnamon that's to be added later will be the main event. The distiller reopens the production tank and drapes a mesh nylon sachet over the opening. He pours the carefully measured spices into the bag, and they become immersed in the alcohol. He draws the bag of spices shut and leaves it in the alcohol for 2 weeks. During this time, the alcohol extracts flavors from the spices. Staying true to the recipe is critical. Adding too much of one spice or leaving the spices in the alcohol for too long could ruin the batch. After steeping, the liqueur is ready for the cinnamon spice. He adds 2 kinds, cassia, which is from Indonesia, China, and Vietnam, and Ceylon cinnamon, which originates in Sri Lanka. He breaks up the cinnamon tree bark to increase the surface area for steeping. He also adds 2 different powdered cinnamons for extra flavor and color. He now makes simple syrup from organic sugar and water and adds it to the mixture. This syrup provides sweetness and dilutes the alcohol content substantially, bringing it down to 68 proof. He leaves the blend to steep for a week. During this time, he samples the beverage daily to confirm that the drink is developing correctly and that the cinnamon flavor is properly balanced. The color change during this week is dramatic, and it's an indication of the cordial's deepening flavor. When the taste and color seem just right, he removes the spices and pumps the cinnamon cordial into 25-ounce bottles. This bottling system is equipped with a filter to remove any impurities. Once full, he corks the bottle. Using a special labeling machine, he rolls on the label that identifies the product for marketing. He then heat shrinks a plastic seal around the cork. He puts his signature on it, and the Cinnamon Cordial is ready for the cocktail circuit.